During the summer holidays, a child went to visit his grandfather. He would always play with his grandfather. One day, he said to his grandfather, "When I grow up, I want to become successful. Grandfather, can you teach me some ways to be successful?" The grandfather smiled and nodded, saying, "Of course." Then he took the child to a nearby nursery. From the nursery, the grandfather bought 2 small plants and brought them back home. He planted one of the plants in a pot and placed it inside the house, and he planted the other one outside the house. "Which of these 2 plants do you think will grow better in the future?" the grandfather asked the child. The child thought for a moment and then said, "The plant inside the house will grow better because it is safe from all dangers, while a plant outside is at risk from many things like strong sunlight, storms, animals, etc." The grandfather smiled and said, "Let's see what happens in the future." After that, the child left with his parents. 4 years later, the child came to visit his grandfather again. When the child saw his grandfather, he said, "Grandpa, last time I asked you for ways to be successful, but you did not tell me anything. But this time, you have to tell me." The grandfather smiled and said, "Sure, but first, let's take a look at the plants that we bought a few years back." Saying this, the grandfather took the child to the place where he had planted the small plant in a pot. They saw that the plant had turned into a tree. Then he took the child to look at the plant that they had planted outside. There they saw a huge tree stood, its branches spread far and wide, providing shade to passers-by. Now the grandfather looked at the child and said, "Tell me, which plant grew more? Which one is more successful?" The child replied, "The one we planted outside." "But Grandpa, how is this possible? That plant must have faced so many dangers, yet it grew so big." The grandfather smiled and said, "Yes, the plants outside had to face many things, but dealing with problems had its benefits too. Plants outside had the freedom to spread their roots as much as they wanted. Problems like storms made its roots stronger. Today, it is so strong that a small storm cannot cause any harm to it. Son, what I am about to tell you, always remember it. Then you will be successful in whatever you do in life. If you always make comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as you can. If you are ready to face this world despite all the dangers, then no goal is impossible for you to achieve. Never think of problems as hurdles, but think of them as steps towards success." The child took a long breath and stared at the tree, and he understood his grandfather's words. Obstacles, which we consider enemies in life, make us stronger and more successful in life. Similarly, our life is like a great adventure, filled with twists and turns that might seem like obstacles blocking our path. But guess what? These obstacles are like puzzles, waiting to be solved. Just think about when you play a game. The fun part is figuring out how to overcome challenges. Life works the same way. Each hurdle you face is a chance to learn, grow, and become even stronger. So don't let these roadblocks discourage you. Embrace them, tackle them, and watch yourself level up in the game of life. You've got the skills, determination, and spirit to conquer anything that comes your way. Hope you gain some value from this story and try to implement it in your life. And always keep rising.